Hello. Hello, hello. How are we doing? Oh, I gotta change this. Mm. Every time I go live on TikTok, even though I click the microphone button to mute it, it still wants to play. I don't know how long I'm gonna stay because I'm tired. No worries, Glacial Spark. You don't have to stay very long at all. I did want to let me get rid of that, and I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna make it bigger. Or thank you. There we go. Dee Dee. Hey Ben, I forgot to tell you 2 days ago I platinumed Elden Ring. Congratulations, Dee Dee 2K. Oh, that's not what I wanted to click. That's what I wanted to click. That's awesome. Platinuming any game is impressive, but platinuming Elden Ring is all the more impressive just because of how oppressively difficult that game can be. I made some updates to my stream setup, my stream screen for the Elden Ring streams, and I forgot to change some of the stuff that was on the other screens. Um, oh, there he be. I be here. How was your food? Food was great, Max. It all came out really good. I'm happy with it. I got a full belly now. Didi, the last trophy was that Lich Dragon with Fia's questline and Ronnie. Oh, the who's Lich Dragon Fortisax. He can be really fucking annoying for sure. Fia's champs can be annoying. I've never really had too much of an issue with Fia's champs. I'll be honest, if we're being honest, but like Fia's champs definitely has the capacity to be a very annoying fight. Um, Same with Lich Dragon Fortisax. Some of the dragon fights are just really annoying because it's just so hard to hit them in the head, and with all that random death lightning going on, it's crazy. But congratulations on that. I think I did Ronnie's ending the first time I played the game. So the only one that I just have to do a third ending, and then that's platinum for me. I've done the normal ending, I've done Ronnie's ending, and I literally have a character sitting at like the end of the game. I just have to figure out how to do an ending that's different than the ones I've already done. But regardless, welcome in everybody. Usually, I know when I do my late night Monday night streams, we don't get we don't get as many viewers as normal, but that's fine. I don't want it to be a super long, super late one anyway. I know Annie said that she is going to switch over her laundry. She's also usually the one that has stuff for me to do. So welcome in if you are new to the D&D Homebrew Doctoring stream. Welcome in. The way that this works, I've written a couple source books for D&D, so I'm pretty good at like the technical writing aspect of D&D, and D, and I'm really good at making your homebrew exactly what you're attempting to make it. I'm pretty good at helping you design homebrew to get the most out of it that you want out of it, you know? So if any of you have, if any of you play D&D or uh, I guess it's step one, yeah, play D&D. But if you play D&D and you have any homebrew that you want someone else to look at and help you figure out how to word it properly, like for technical writing and for rules writing, or like you have homebrew and you're like, I want it to feel a little bit more like this, but I don't know exactly how to get there, That's what this is. That's what homebrew doctoring is. So if you tip $5 and then you send me a Google Drive link with your homebrew, I will live on stream discuss with you back and forth how to make it the way that you want it to be. Um, and that's what that is. Stephanie, I don't want to be this person, but you're Florida. No, I'm Ben. I do play the character Florida online, though. Glacial, do you all think I can see my breath outside? It's 34 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, I'd say so. It's probably. How's LA? Grew up in Glendale. I like LA. I'm Florida Ben? No, I'm just Ben. Being from Florida is not really like part of my personality. I am just from there. My name is Ben. I'm a professional stand-up comedian, and yes, I play the state of Florida on TikTok and everywhere else. But I am not Florida Ben. I'm just Ben. I am from Florida. We like you almost as we like as Wix. OMG, it's Wix is great. Great creator. It's very funny. Rush. I did too, but I had a hard time getting a job. Oh, growing up in LA. Okay. Um, what kind of jobs were you trying to get into, Rush? Stephanie, you're in CA now. Yep. These are facts. I live in the general Los Angeles area. And you like the weather? Yeah. The weather's fantastic. Um, it's like 75 and sunny basically year round. I need my Discord link. In the meantime, bro, that sounds so nice. It is. Okay, I have stuff for you, but they're not especially finished. They don't have to be especially finished. I mean, where in CA is impotent? Um, the letter R really changes the meaning of that sentence, Stephanie. Anything really, but limited by only having a high school diploma. That might, well, that's all I have. I didn't finish college. Discord. Publish. Okay. Now my YouTube bio actually has my Discord link in it. Hooray! Um, Max, I'm just turning a heater on real quick. Can't fall asleep if I start shivering. Do what you gotta do. Lauren, sadly, I've got to go for the night, but I want to say that it is absolutely awesome that you help folks out with their homebrews. I appreciate that, Lauren. I am happy to do it. Thanks for being here. Get some rest. Rush. I moved in 2012, by the way, but got a job here within 2 weeks. Nice. I'm glad you. I'm glad it worked out. I'm sorry that it had to be in Washington, but I'm glad it worked out. Although I slightly regret walking outside with no jacket on, there's just enough wind to tear through me. Yeah, I wouldn't go outside at all if it was 34 degrees. That's insane. um, Thanks for the follow, Spyro5337. All right, Annie sent it. Let's see. Shared with me. Meatballs. Okay, let me copy. Just 43 to 50. Okay. Are you winning, son? Yes. Rush. I'm not. I love the rain and hated the heat. Hey, man, then you found exactly where you need to be. I am the opposite. And Katie was really cool. Yeah, no, Katie's great. Big fan of Katie. Ariun is on Born to Confuse. We are here to do some homebrew, some D&D homebrew. So we're about to get started with that. After this batch, we're halfway through. Hell yeah. Sarcastic as Kel. I'm still in travel ban. Roads suck anyways. What do you mean you're still in travel ban? I like the rain. Brings back memories like the rain. Sunshine in the rain. Let's see. Oh wow, why is it? I'm getting the scene set up so you guys can see what's going on. And boom. Also a big fan of the politics here in Western Washington. They got some good stuff over there. We got 2+ feet of snow, and we are all grounded from driving. Grounded. Hello, New York, huh? What does that mean? Uh, NA League support. Have you ever looked up vulture bees and thought those would be great to add to a setting? Because I have. I've never heard of vulture bees before, so no, I can't say that I've ever looked them up for a setting. All right, let's get into it. For those of you that don't know, yeah, you're back. Hi, Sarah. Welcome in. I had to eat dinner and then I played some basketball trivia with my roommate. And now we're back, baby. These need punching up. Okay, so for those of you that are new here, for the past several weeks, I've been helping Annie work on these. It is a list of meatballs that gives special weird abilities and stuff and effects to all her D&D players that eat them. These are part of a tournament arena type thing that that she's setting up. So everything lasts for 4 rounds. Sarah, did you win trivia? Technically, no, because the trivia they were playing, we were working together, but it had like at the end it would tell you what the perfect answers would have been for every position, and we did not get a perfect one, but we had fun playing. Born to Confuse. What you eat? My bestie made a seafood pasta. Was so good. I had fettuccine alfredo with chicken and broccoli, and I steamed the broccoli and then I tossed it in a cast iron with some garlic and butter. If we're really brave, I would let you look at the rules for this thing. If I were really brave, I would let you look at the rules for this thing. I'm sure the rules are fine. Have you thought of a meatball that's just a meatball but tastes like something weird like blueberry? That might be funny, Annie. If like meatball number 100, the description just says tastes like a blueberry. There's no follow up. I love the idea of meatballs with short buffs for a tournament. Well, Max, they aren't all buffs. How about it's a meatball, probably from IKEA. Some of them cause negative things. Some of them do. I didn't say most of them do a little bit of good and a little bit of bad. Or one that's the gum from Willy Wonka. What did the gum do? Let's hop in this first one. Everyone believes you are funny, even if you are not. In fact, you can incapacitate people with their laughter. As a magic action, you can cast Tasha's hideous laughter without maintaining concentration. I would say this is pretty good. There's a couple notes. The first thing, I would probably get rid of this sentence. In fact, you can incapacitate people with their laughter. I'd probably get rid of that. And I would say, like, incredibly funny. And let me ask you this, Annie. The gum blows you up like a oh, it's the blueberry gum. Okay. Nat, Jiminy Cricket shows up and improves cunning. I'm just imagining him showing up. I don't know what that means, Nat. Let me ask you this, Annie. To me, when I read everyone believes you're incredibly funny, I don't think, okay, cool, I can cast Tasha's hideous laughter. I think everybody that can see me or hear me at the start of their turn has to make a saving throw or be incapacitated with laughter as if under the effects of the Tasha's hideous laughter spell. And I don't mean just enemies. Nat, like an idea for a funny meatball. Oh, just Jiminy Cricket shows up and improves cunning? I don't know what cunning is. That's interesting. Gives it an advantage on persuasion rolls because they think that you're funny. I know this is a bad idea. It's not a bad idea, Born to Confuse. That makes sense. I don't think we've had many that debuff teammates. True. This wouldn't necessarily only debuff teammates, though. This would kind of just debuff everybody. Unless they make the saving throw. Let's try it. Okay. Everyone believes you are incredibly funny, even if you are not. Need to read the spell, though. What do you mean you need to read this? You just threw the spell in there without even... Nah, yeah, I know it's stupid, but like I can't think of a trait for him to improve, like a better option. I mean, it doesn't have to be Jiminy Cricket. One creature of your choice that you can see within range makes a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it has the prone and incapacitated conditions for the duration. During that time, it laughs uncontrollably if it's capable of laughter and can't end the prone condition on itself. At the end of each of its turns, and each time it takes damage, it makes another wisdom saving throw. The target has advantage on the save if the save is triggered by damage. On a successful save, the spell ends. I think that's pretty fair. They get to make the saving throw at the end of each of their turns, and also every time they take damage. I'm for it if we can change the saving throw to the beginning of their turn. I'm not sure that we can do that and also keep the shorthand of as if under the effects of the Tasha's Hideous Laughter spell. Is there a way to change it that doesn't muck up the wording? I don't think so. Unfortunately. What is that website with the spells? I'm not super familiar with D&D, hoping to get into it. It's called dndbeyond.com. Okay. Any creature that can see you or hear you at the start of its turn must succeed on a wisdom saving throw DC 17, I think is what we've been using. DC 17 or become 70 is reasonable for level 19 players. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. Take off the part about without maintaining concentration. So you just want it to be that as a magic action, you can cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter? It seems tame in comparison to the other meatballs that we've gone through already. No, put it back. Okay. It's got to be an immediate effect. They have to see the result as soon as they eat the meatball. Are you not wanting to do everyone that can see you and hear you has to make the save? That's the part that's concerning me. What's concerning about it? Max, could Meatball 46 be used in combat at all? Is that an advantage or disadvantage? That's much more of like an RP capability in combat. It would be a disadvantage if you can't speak, because then you wouldn't be able to cast spells that have vocal components. But we'll get that one. We'll get down to that one. I generally don't like the effects to affect players on the same team unless the player decides they do. Don't we already have a few that do that? But if that is your concern, we can do something a little bit more like this. Any creature that can see you or hear you begins to giggle if they have the ability to do so. Nat, how long did you say they last? Like for 49 after does your eye just come back? They last until the end of the. They last up to 4 rounds. So like the floor, the stage of this tournament is 4 rounds, and all of the effects of the meatballs end at the end of that 4-round stage. As a magic action, you can focus on one and let's word it like this. Focus on one creature and attempt to incapacitate them with laughter. What's its range of 30 feet? Choose one creature that you can see within 30 feet of yourself. That creature must succeed on a wisdom saving throw. I don't want something that could potentially incapacitate all 4 players on the team. That's fair. Wisdom saving throw, DC 17. Or become prone and incapacitated as if under the effects of the Tasha's hideous laughter spell. Bang. Next. 44. You feel the surge of hello, Hoilepa? What are you brewing? These are meatballs with fun, silly, magical effects. It is part of a tournament in D&D that Here to Learn, or Annie, is creating. There's stages in a tower, and players work together to move through a stage and move on to the next floor. And these are, one of the stages is a meteor shower, and there's a bunch of meatballs that just rain down, and they can eat the meatballs at any time and gain random powers off of this D100 table. You feel the surge of a variety of energies coursing through your veins. As an action, you can cast Chaos Bolt. Just call me He Who Can't Be Spelled, or Hoi. This one wasn't finished. Okay, do you want me to skip it for now? No, let's try to punt it up. Okay, is the goal of this one, Annie, to simply give them the ability to cast Chaos Bolt? Or are you trying to make it do something else? Jake Astounding. Heyo, we back to Magic Meat Brews? We are. I like the idea of a random energy going off. Okay. Chaos Bolt is the basis I'm working with. I mean, Chaos Bolt, if I'm not mistaken, is simply, yeah, you throw a massive chaotic energy at a creature, um, and then the damage type differs. Yeah. Biotech Psycho 4849 said wild magic. You could definitely lean a bit more into like just wild magic. There is a wild magic table. And just like they have to roll on the wild magic table at the end of each of their turns. That would work. It's a random table and a random table. Max, this is such a fun system, Annie. Apologize if I used incorrect spelling. I believe that is the correct spelling. Jake, this is one of my favorite concepts. Magic meatball effects is so hilarious to me. The meatball was imbued with wild magic. With wild magic, and you can feel it coursing through your veins. Um, let's see that over there. You can. What you can do, Annie, is you can have your own wild magic table, which, if you're gonna be DMing games, I meant the creator of the homebrew. Sorry, no. I knew what you meant, Max. You're good. If Max, if you want, you can hop over to Twitch. Annie's in the Twitch chat, and you can communicate that way. Otherwise, but also it's totally fine if you just want to stay on YouTube. Um, and you could have your own D100 table of wild magic, which is something that I kind of recommend if you are trying to DM more games. Um, because having your own personal D100 table of wild magic is a quite useful thing for a DM. Or what you could do is go to Wild Magic Barbarian or the Wild Magic Sorcerer. There's like a couple quote unquote standard ones. but there's no like, not that I'm aware of. There's no like, here's a table of wild magic effects. If somebody in chat knows of one, feel free to put that there. But what you there is like wild magic barbarian and the wild magic sorcerer both have wild magic tables that you can kind of just like copy paste if you wanted. But there technically isn't like a standard wild magic table. I don't believe. Almost per turn, the DM can have you roll after you cast the sorcerer's vote. Yeah, there's some wild ones on there, hence wild magic. Immediately after ingesting this meatball, and at the start of each of your turns, you must roll on the wild magic table. Roll for an effect on the wild magic table. Biotech Psycho. I already have a character that has 3 classes: Fighter, Warlock, and Wizard. Their subclasses: Eldritch Knight, Hexblade, and Illusion Wizard. Make sure that you mention that the effects stack. Um, so that's stacking isn't really Twitch is sadly too powerful for my dying laptop. It barely runs YouTube with its memory problems. Understood. For my purposes in this game, they stack. Right. I'm not saying that effects can't stack. I'm saying the concept of stack isn't really in D&D. That's why wording of spells is so important. Because a spell could say increases your movement speed by 30 feet, or a spell could say increases your movement speed to 30 feet. And they don't replace / end early. Right. That is implied. Nightwolf. Hey man, thanks for everything you do. I appreciate that, Nightwolf. You'll find that a lot of times when you'll see in definitions that like a spell might say this replaces ... but you don't see usually any definitions that like confirm this is not replaced by whatever, because that's the implied effect. Are you ever doing the table again? I probably will eventually, Nightwolf. I needed to take a mental health break. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's the Airbud rule. If the rule doesn't say that dogs can't play basketball, then dogs can play basketball. Number 45. You are unable to tell the truth, but you're really, really good at lying. You add 1d8 bonus to any deception check. Okay. Question, Annie. Why a 1d8 increase as opposed to just advantage or a flat bonus? Like how pass without trace gives a flat plus 10. I could see like just adding plus 5 to every deception check. Genuinely, it's the first thing that came to mind. LOL. Fair enough. Um, I would say probably just there's a few things. Either just give it advantage, grant them expertise in deception, or grant them plus 5 or plus 10 to deception. Because here's the thing, especially at level 19, the disparity is crazy. Expertise, as long as they aren't already an expert in deception, granting them expertise at level 19 is going to be the best bonus for that character. If they already have expertise in lying or in deception, then they're just going to be rolling really fucking high on deception anyway, and getting an additional bonus really isn't going to benefit them. Because we're already expertise, that's a plus 12. And if they have a plus 4 to charisma, they're getting a plus 16 to every deception check they make already. So you gain expertise in the. Here's something else to think about, Annie. What happens to them if they tell the truth? Hey, thanks for the follow, Fire 19199023. Appreciate that. Do you want something bad to happen to them if they tell the truth? Yes, definitely. We could just make it like they just take psychic damage. That's what I was thinking of. It's got to be enough that they really don't want to do it, but not so much that they're terrified. Um, Reasonable roll for that. At level 19, it's kind of hard to say. 3d8 seems good. Telling the truth. physically pains you. Come on. Four and a half plus 4.5 is 9, plus 4.5 is 13.5. Rounded up to 14. Imagine trying to communicate entirely in lies. That was basically what Mentiroso did. Your mouth vanishes from your face, but you gain the ability to relocate it using the magic mouth spell. Um, okay. Okay, now I'm actually going to bed. Good night, everybody. Good night, Glacial. The Magic Mouth is an incredibly complex and convoluted spell for what I think you're attempting to do here, which is just your mouth is no longer on your face, but you can kind of just make it pop up wherever you want. I want them to not be able to speak, but they can put it somewhere else with limited message abilities. I think we'll have to write this one. I mean, if you want. Okay. Let's do it this way. How many words do you want them? What if the mouth speaks the verbal component of a spell? Well, it's gonna have to. Bill, hi everyone. Y'all have been at this for a while tonight, huh? No. Uh, maybe an hour. And do you want it? Do you want him to have to use an action or maybe a bonus action? As a bonus action, and how many words do you want them to be able to say before their mouth goes away? Thinking 25 is too many. 10. It's the shortest message. That's a philosophical question, I think. The shortest message is just a head, like a horse head in their bed. No words at all. As a bonus action, you can choose one object that you can see within 30 feet of yourself in the game. What would be the shortest precedent for message length? The command spell only takes one word. Let me look at message and sending. Okay. The limit doesn't exist for message. Sending is 25. Okay, so 10. Your mouth remains there until the end of your turn, until the start of your next turn, or until you have spoken 10 words, whichever is first. How about that? At that point, does their mouth return? No. Because the first thing that happens is your mouth vanishes from your face. Uh, at no point in the definition of this spell does it ever say that your mouth returns to your face. So therefore, your mouth never returns to your face. It says your mouth remains on that object until the start of your next turn or until you've spoken 10 words. The last sentence could be interpreted as it stays where you put it until you speak 10 words. Yep, that's correct. It stays where you put it until you speak 10 words, and then it vanishes again. It reverts back to what it was, which is vanished from your face. And then at the start of your next turn or after 10 words, your mouth vanishes again. As a bonus action on your next turn, you can pick another object and have your mouth appear there. Can you put the vanishes again bit on the end? Yes. Then it vanishes. Oh, your mouth vanishes again at the start of your next turn or until you have spoken 10 words, whichever happens first, whichever's first. Bang. Next. 47. The ends of your fingers become very sticky, and you are able to traverse any surface as if you were under the spider climb spell. Uh, I don't think including as if under the effects of the spider climb spell is good here. Right. Spider climb has a hands free thing. It's also not a very long spell, so referencing it isn't really saving you much. The ends of your fingers become very sticky, period. You gain a climbing speed equal to your. I think this capitalized. A climbing speed equal to your walking speed. Movement speed? Walking speed. And you can move up, down, and across vertical surfaces and move up, down, and across vertical surfaces and along ceilings. Bingo bango. Number 48. A tiny crab appears next to you. For the duration, you may use the crab to deliver messages or spells for you. Thanks for the lurk, DB. And yeah, I was thinking an animal messenger homunculus servant combo. Tiny beast, your choice. See, it attempts to deliver a message for you. Specify a location you have visited and recipient who matches the general description, such as a person dressed in the uniform of the town regard or da da da. So communicate a message of up to 25 words. The beast travels for the duration toward the specified location, covering about 25 miles per 24 hours or 50 miles if the beast can fly. When the beast arrives, it delivers a message to the creature that you described, mimicking your communication. If the beast doesn't reach its destination before the spell ends, the message is lost and the beast returns to where you cast the spell. Look, I can deliver messages, but also if it touches a creature, it can deliver spells. Um, okay. I think, yeah, familiars can do it as well. This is just a familiar. In the service of familiar. Acts independently of you, but it obeys your commands. You have telepathic communication when within 100 feet. See through the familiar's eyes and hear what it hears until the start of your next turn. Finally, you cast a spell with a range of touch. Your familiar can deliver the touch. Your familiar must be within 100 feet of you, and it must take a reaction to deliver the touch when you cast a spell. Can familiars deliver messages? Not exactly. Um, Here's my question, Annie. Within 4 rounds of this one stage, how likely do you think it's going to be for the party to need to send a message via something that isn't themselves? Max, I had a nice time, but I'm headed to bed. Good luck, everyone, and have a good night, Ben. Good night, Max. Thanks for joining us. In a silence spell, it could be very useful. Silence affects an area, so the animal messenger also wouldn't be able to speak within the area of the silent spell either. Probably not super useful, but I like the added effect. You can move outside of it. Yeah, but you could also you could also just move outside of it. Um, like the idea of having the familiar briefly. Sure, we could just make it Make it an actual like crab familiar. Crab familiar appears next to you. Uh, you gain the service of a familiar in the shape of a small crab. Suddenly, crab. Are these boons and busts, curses, lair actions? These are meatballs, Bill. You eat a meatball and something happens to you. Suddenly, crab. You gain the service of a familiar in the shape of a small crab, as if conjured by the find familiar spell. Uh, the crab can perform any actions. Uh, no. Can also deliver a message for you of up to 25 words. Annie, I will not be giving instructions to eat the meatballs. That's up to the players to jump in and take the risk. LOL. Okay. 49. Your left eye goes rogue and leaves your head. Like IKEA. The dungeon. IKEA is already a dungeon. You suffer 2d10 piercing damage, but you gain the ability to control where your eye goes and what it looks at, as if you would cast the spell Arcane Eye. OMG, I'm making the tower canonically an abandoned IKEA. Uh, Hear me out, Annie. Hear me out. You sneeze, and your poor eyeball falls onto the floor. then rolls off the table. And out through the door. We should probably get rid of that last part, but I would also say it is very funny, but then the implication would be a lot more like your eyeball just leaves the fucking room. You take 2d10, would be 5.5 plus 5, 11. 11, 2d10. I would change this to force damage. Meatball and the eye switch places. The meatball is in your stomach, so I would change this to force damage because it's the only damage that you can't have resistance against in some way. Um, and I would treat this more like how we did with, or how it works with a Find Familiar. As a bonus action, you can see through the familiar's eyes and hear what it hears until the start of your next turn. Um, Obviously, you wouldn't be able to hear what it hears, but maybe it doesn't necessarily need to be a bonus action. But it would be incredibly disorienting for you to be getting visual information from your eyeball and the moving eyeball at the same time. As a bonus action, you can. What about subtitles? Reading lips? Technically, if you have the observant feat, you can read lips, Bill. Up to 30 feet in any direction. I spy. As a bonus action, you can choose to move the eyeball up to 30 feet in any direction and see what it sees. On each of your turns. Perfect. This meatball is unusually nutritious. You gain 1d10 temporary hit points each round. Each round. That's fine. Bree. Hi, Bree. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure that you knew that temp HP doesn't stack. How's your night going? It's going well so far. How's your night going, Bree? Actually, that's fine. Okay, good. It's going good. Debating if I'm tired or not. What do you mean debating if you're tired or not? How do you debate that? Either you're tired or you're not. Actually, that's fine. Okay. I would say like you gain 1d10 temporary hit points. We're gonna put 6 temporary hit points. I don't even know if you really need to be putting, or if I really need to be putting like the averages for the rolls. That's definitely more so if you're doing like a making a monster stat block, because it's a lot quicker for a DM to just choose the average number than roll every time a monster does anything. It's nice to have there though. Okay, cool. My boyfriend already fell asleep, so I don't want to lay down until I'm tired, so I need to decide if I am. Girl, if you're not tired, you're not tired. But I don't know, maybe try putting your phone down. Stop shoving stimulation directly in your face for like 5 minutes, and then you'll probably calm down. This one needs some oomph. Usually you gain 6 temporary hit points at the start of each of your turns. You gain 6 temporary hit points now, and another 6 1d10 temporary hit points at the start of each of your turns. That's good advice. Thank you. I've lived a few cycles around this sun. What kind of oomph are you looking to add to it, Annie? It needs a malice. I'm just basically been nocturnal since I was in kindergarten, so sleeping at night is hard. Yeah, we are creatures of habit, but if that is your habit, then why fight against it? It needs a downside. Add vapes. I don't know about all that. Sand under table. My family used to find me asleep watching cartoons in our living room because I pulled an all nighter. Girl, that doesn't make you nocturnal. That just means you hyper fixated on cartoons and your family didn't stop you from having screen time. If you were nocturnal, they would have found you awake. You've just replaced cartoons with TikTok. That's all you've done. But like when they woke up and I'd only been asleep for an hour or two, yeah, you literally pushed your body to the point of physical exhaustion because you didn't want to stop watching cartoons. And similarly, here you are, doom scrolling. They would put me to bed, go to bed, then I would go to the living room and fall asleep at 5 a.m. Yeah, your brain really wanted cartoons. Maybe a roll to accidentally choke on it or swallow it whole and reduce the healing. It's not so much healing, DB. It's temporary hit points. It's like putting a jacket on. If I come up with something, I'll bring it back to the table. Okay. The only thing that I could think of, Annie, was that like nutritious things tend to taste bad. So maybe some sort of like you eat it, it's nutritious, uh you get the temp HP, but also you might throw up. Eva Durkee. Meatballs give flatulence and cause negative to stealth? There's something there. Maybe not for this one, Eva, but there's definitely something there. Is there a mechanic for vomiting in D&D? Yes, comma, but uh was it what is that? What is it? The stink cloud? No. What is that? What does that spell? Stinking cloud? I just don't get tired at 3 a.m. at the earliest 95% of the time. That's fine. But also, it's hard to say that if you've never done anything to allow you to, like, if you've never set up any sort of system to allow your brain and body to calm down at an earlier time, then you are never going to be calmed down at an earlier time. Sand under the table, eating too much Olive Garden. Mm. So the creature spends its action that turn retching and reeling. Tried the whole hot bath reading thing before bed, but months at a time, for months at a time, but it doesn't help. Sometimes that's also true. Maybe the meatballs are so good you crave more, so you get a negative to a related roll like perception or something. Like I've taken steps to help my brain, but it doesn't take the help. Sometimes your brain just wants to be your brain. I'm open to any suggestion. The meatball gives you health but slows your speed because you eat too many and are too full. Mm, maybe your equipment starts falling apart like at IKEA. That kind of feels a bit too unrelated to this one. How about, however, um, the meatball is unusually nutritious. Uh, yeah, it's just being silly. I don't know how you would make that work. You could make it work, sort of. Hi, Sarah. If you go the full route, then you can reduce movement by like 5 or 10 for the duration for of the temp HP plus X rounds. You're insufferably braggy about it. Meatball is unusually nutritious, but smells terrible. You gain 6 temporary hit points now and another 6 temporary hit points at the start of each of your turns in combat. However, uh, you have disadvantage on all charisma. Oh wait, no, on all persuasion charisma checks. Oh, it's a cat biting an arm. Okay. You like it? Okay, cool. Simple but effective. Yeah, I mean 6 temp HP at the start of each of your turns isn't crazy. And but also I don't think having disadvantage on persuasion checks is crazy either. So I think that's pretty balanced. Let me I'll pop this over to yours so you can have it. And that's that on that. Okay. We have a few people that we can raid. Once I get all these finished, I'll send you a copy of this insane table. I'd appreciate that. That's gonna be a fun one for sure. We have a few people that we can raid out to. Doodle and Chelsea are playing Super Smash Bros. Uh, Likely they are playing with each other. They were invited to a Super Smash Bros. Tournament later this week. Neither one of them are all that good at it, so they have been practicing. So we can raid them. I think they're probably doing fights against people in their community. So if you have Super Smash, you can join and fight them. There's also Trey is also still online playing Claire Obscure Expedition 33. But just based on the time, I think she's probably not going to be on for much longer. And then Erika Nagashima is online as well. I don't know where she was, but she was not home. She's home now. She's very cool too. She went to college with my roommate Danny, which is wild. They were in like choir together. So she does a lot of music and singing on stream. I don't know if that's exactly what she's doing right now. But last time I was in there, she was singing. Um, Let me look at what is Doodle doing. She's not even in. Doodle is holding a guitar. That's not Super Smash Bros. What are you doing? Okay, let's raid Erika because we have not raided Erika before. Um, at some point, she will likely start doing music, but otherwise, she's very funny. We met at a networking event that actually Katie Bentz was putting together recently, and she's very funny, very witty, very smart, and also an incredibly talented musician and singer. So let's raid Erika Nagashima. Did I spell that right? Yeah. Okay. Cool. If you are watching on TikTok or on YouTube, obviously you cannot join this raid, but thank you for being here anyway. As soon as we raid out, that's going to be the end of the stream. If you want to hop over to Twitch really quick and then jump in this raid, you absolutely can. But otherwise, if you're in Twitch, hop in the stream. Erika is fantastic, so make sure you hang out and talk to her. Very funny, very talented musician. And also went to school with went to college with my roommate Danny, which is wild. So let's go hang out with Erika for a little bit. If you aren't in this raid, I will see you guys tomorrow, Tuesday, from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time. We are doing D&D Terraform Tuesday. So we will see you there. We got Zito the Barbarian. So join us tomorrow, and then Wednesday we're playing some more Elden Ring DLC. So see you guys tomorrow at 5, or technically a later day. See you tomorrow at 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time. The raid alert. I gotta make this like a thing. We gotta do the Hurricane Party guy, and then brain raid. See you guys later. Love you, mean it. Bye.